Greetings and welcome to the 1-6 Scale Man proudly presents another episode of Comic Book Talk with Friends. I am your host, Leo Rockwell, for the 1-6 Scale Man YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. We got a lot that we are going to cover tonight, as we always do. But before we do that, just a couple of things right off the top. Why you're here, you need to understand why you're here, what we're going for. A lot of things that's happening right now. So definitely full-fledged ahead with the Christmas initiative as of right now. Again, all proceeds, super chats, everything that we receive goes towards such a worthy cause. Just wanted to put out there, let you know this is what we have going on at the moment. So definitely, even if you don't donate, make sure that when you go out there that you actually spend some money on somebody who's less fortunate, whether it's someone who's homeless, veterans, people and the family members. Make sure that you show your full support. Just wanted to actually put that out there so you recognize that people are definitely in need. And again, it's a good thing. It's a great cause, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. Each and every year, I donate every year to the Children's Hospital. Those who can children who are suffering with cancer and other ailments. Good. I want to make sure that they actually get a really, really good Christmas. So wanted to put that out there. Also, just want to let you know that if you are looking for 1-6 scale collectible figures and you can't find them at your favorite spot, hit up my man Ray from Underground Figures. That's Ray from Underground Figures. My man will make sure that you actually get the figures that you need. And if he ain't got it, he'll find it for you. Very, very competitive pricing and decent prices when it comes to shipping and handling. You'll get your figure within a few days. On top of that, customer service is on point. He is very transparent, and he will always hook you up. So let him know and tell him that your boy Lael sent you. Yep, that's my man Ray from Underground Figures. And also, it's the Tale of Two Rays. My man Ray over there at Hawk Wars Toys. Make sure you shout him out as well. That's my guy, Ray from Hawk Wars. He will basically give you the Ray special, not just the figure, but the Ray special when he packs in the stickers, where I got this Wonder Woman sticker right here from him. And he'll give you a comic, basically representing that figure that he's actually sending you out. So I definitely want to give a shout out to both Rays, because I'm telling you, it's the Tale of Two Rays, and they definitely make sure that you are taken care of. So definitely thank you guys for being in. Everybody's actually tuning in tonight. Wanted to make sure I shout out to my boy bros. My bros out here on the panel right now. What's going on, Pimp? What's going on with you, brother?
What up?
You good?
I'm living life now. I'm not going.
Oh yeah. Tell Vinny what you tell.
I got the pod now.
He got that better internet, bro. He got that sauce now, bro. He upgraded. You see, he ain't been pausing out once the entire time, bro. You muted.
Oh no, did I mute?
No, not you. Vinny's muted.
My bad. He got the mother box in that joint.
He got the mother box, bro. He got the mother box. He came through with the mother box, bro. He ain't leaking right now. Yeah, what I mean. So
I'm excited right now. I'm excited.
Definitely, bro. It's exciting times, man. But definitely so glad to have you here. V, what's going on with you, brother?
Man, I'm happy. I'm in a good mood. I got just a few days left of regular work, and then I'm on winter break until I gotta go do any other winter stuff. But for the most part, I'm looking forward to Christmas. I've been just in Christmas mode, Christmas shopping, house decorated, got all the cool geek ornaments up on the tree. Just that's my little geek obsession with getting all the crazy like Hallmark ornaments and all that kind of stuff. So that's all up. I'm in the Christmas spirit. So been just working on getting gifts for the family and stuff like that, and then just getting stuff done around the house that I haven't had time for, and looking to get in here and get to draw more at the end of the next week. So I'm in a good mood, man. No doubt.
Definitely, bro. Definitely, as always, man. So good to have you here, as always. Thank you for being here. We're going to talk about some good things tonight. Definitely, and we're going to definitely talk about our artist feature of the week is Bill Finger. We're going to also talk about Echo. Definitely some reviews came in for it, and it's looking really, really positive. We're going to talk about some, just some things that on the docket here that I know people, it's going to be kind of some. I just have to let everybody know there's going to be some sensitive things on this docket that we're going to talk about, but with reason. Now we're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about the controversy right now going around with Mystique and Nightcrawler. So we're going to have that discussion.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't, but well, no, because and the thing is, like, listen, there's reasons, but there's rhyme of reasons to it. And I know people have differences of opinions and stuff like that, but we're going to talk about that tonight a little bit as well. We're going to talk about the Blade video game that was actually announced. So
Oh man, yeah,
yeah,
it beat the movie. Like it's like, come on, bro.
yeah, we're going to kind of talk about that definitely a little bit, man. I just wanted to kind of chime because it was a reveal on that, and I was like, okay, well, let's have that conversation. And yeah, we are going to talk about. Also, we're going to talk about Godzilla -1. If everybody's out there seeing it, we're going to have this conversation about it. But there's a reason why, and we'll get into that and why it can be associated to what's going on and what we see from a lot of popular films such as Marvel, DC. We're going to talk about that and why this could be the best formula and what they did with this film was perfect and why other films need to do the same thing. So we'll definitely dive into that in just a bit. But first, we're going to dive into basically the artist himself. Now, this is basically artist one. I know, Vinny, you wanted to talk about this.
Yes.
When it came up, you were like, I would love to talk about Bill Finger because again, there's a lot that a lot of people don't really know about him as an artist.
Absolutely.
Just artist background and his influence, man. So yeah, man, if you want to actually go ahead and I want you to lead off on this one, man. You go ahead and talk about it, bro.
Um, Bill Finger is one of the icons of industry that is even more of a sad or cautionary tale than Jack Kirby. Whereas a lot of Marvel fans are familiar with, Jack Kirby's contributions to the industry and how a lot of them have kind of by casual fans been, credited to Stan Lee. Um, a bigger maybe not bigger but a very less well known instance of that is this man is just as much responsible for Batman as Bob Kane is. And
Mm-hmm.
and for years you see Batman films and it was Bob Kane's Batman,
Yeah, that's
for
crazy.
decades, not even years.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this man was so infamously known for getting the short end of the deal with that franchise, that IP, that for many years in the industry they would consider it, getting fingered because they attributed to what was done to him as something that was so raw and just effed up.
And this was
Uh,
the assumption, Bob Kane.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so a lot of the blame, I mean, none of us were there personally, but from what we
Mm.
hear, what stories have gone around, and from what the family has said and stuff like that, is that it was mostly Bob Kane using his power to take credit for all of the creative decisions that went into that that comic in the early days, and just wasn't true. So we're not talking just Batman himself. We're talking about the IP. We're talking about the comic. We're
Right.
talking about, um, you know, we're talking about like Joker and
Mm.
Catwoman and Batgirl, and I mean, he has so many of the characters that are familiar. I mean, that are synonymous with Batman. It was Bill Finger, like by just like Stanley might say, "Hey, I need a villain for Fantastic Four," and Kirby comes up with Galactus. I mean, that was a big part of what Bill Finger did for Bob with I mean, we're talking Catwoman, Clayface, Grayson's, Jim Gordon,
Mm.
uh, Lana Lang. We're talking Mirror Man, Penguin,
Mm-hmm.
Riddler, Red Hood, Robin, Hugo Strange, Vicky Vale, the Wayne family, even Green Lantern. Green
Holy
Yep.
Lantern is
cow.
also part of Bill Finger creation, and for I don't think until I think don't think until like after he passed that he got the credit eventually, and that's just seen too often in the industry. And no industry is perfect. Every company as old as comics or Hollywood or whatever has dark days and stuff, how things used to be done, and to this day it's done dirty. But it's really sad to know that, for the majority of his life he had to sit back and watch all the success of Batman and the shows and the movies, and not even see his name as partial credited. And we're not even talking about money. You know what I mean? That's a whole another deal. But not even to have your name up there and have credit for all the work that you did. It's one thing not to. It's one thing to be Jim Starlin and see Thanos on the screen and know you only got a few $100 for it. It's another thing for them to act like you had nothing to do with that creation and they just put Stan's name on it, or or Bob's name on it, and it's just a Batman. So growing up, I always would sometimes look up like, okay, who created this character or this character, especially some of my favorite characters like Spider-Man or Batman when I was real young. And I most of my younger teenage years, I just thought Bob Kane is amazing. Look at all the stuff he created. Why isn't he as famous as kind of Stan Lee? Like I want he's doing all this cool stuff too. But then you get older and it's like, oh wait, Stan didn't do all this. Jack helped. Steve helped. Steve Ditko helped. Jack, Kirby helped. Roy Thomas helped. Vermita helped. Oh wait, it ain't just Stan Lee. And then on the DC side, you realize, like, wait, it wasn't all Bob Kane. Like, it was Bill Finger. It was, Neil Adams. It was Frank Miller. It was all these other people.
All these individuals with hands in it. But again, one person always get the notification, the notoriety. Yeah.
Crazy,
and it just goes to show, just like in any industry, I'm sure that just boils down to like politics. Politics as usual. And it's just sad. But I wanted to talk about Mr. Finger because just from those contributions alone, I mean, we're talking, the most iconic rogues gallery in comic books, period. I don't care how much you love Flash or Spider-Man or whoever. Nobody's rogues gallery, nobody's supporting characters,
especially as iconic. Yeah.
Nobody's supporting characters are as iconic as Batman supporting characters. Just I don't care what you say. Like, nobody's supporting cast can hold a candle to as now. Spidey may be close, but nobody's messing with Batman's supporting cast as far as what it has meant to the industry. So I wanted to definitely like shine a light on Bill Finger. I wish we had talked about him sooner, but we talking about him now, and I just love all the things that he did for the industry and those creations he helped bring to life. They've entertained us for decades and decades to come. And his artwork was amazing. It was, and his creative mind was, obviously super impactful because of all the contributions he made to that character and throughout his career. So shout out Bill Finger, and you may not have got the credit when it counted the most, but you got it, now from those who know. And, maybe there's somebody out here who didn't know that and they know now.
And if you want to, and I'm just going to give you a look because I wanted to kind of pull this up because there's always questions, about, the original, when we look at it, like, the characters themselves, there's always the biggest misconception as to which character came first, who came first, comic book or art iteration. And this was the first Batgirl right here. This was basically the first iteration by Bill Finger. You know what I mean? So again, like that, it's crazy that like we live in a world now, bro. But it's like now artists are getting more credit, but it's people like Bill Finger is the one who laid their skills on the line to give people that would a martyr for the cause, to give people the opportunities to get those names out there. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. The story, it's like such a tragic story. And that's like, even now when, they're talking about telling the story, or Stanley's story, about him and Jack Kirby, Ditko, and everyone else. I'm like, as long as you tell it right and there's no flaws in it and you're not hiding anything, Like you just, and again, because there's a lot of things that people don't know, that if they seen it and knew the true story, you would probably look at these individuals differently. You know what I mean? Not giving them the credit. You won't shy away from what they've done, but you would look at them differently as to who deserves more credit than most. You know what I mean? So definitely, bro. Definitely, man.
No
Definitely,
doubt.
man. Shout out to Bill
But,
Finger. What you got anything to say, Jason?
yeah, I was just saying, like, man, like I didn't even realize. I know he was a writer and an artist, bro, but I didn't realize like he was so heavy into co-creating Batman until what, like maybe like a year or two ago, bro. I didn't know who this guy was, man. Like Bob Kane had all you saw when it came to Batman for years, even when I was
Bro,
growing
is
up.
even if like
Bob
say
Kane.
for instance, because I was looking up, I wanted to actually get the proper picture of Bill Finger, but when you pull him up, he's always associated to Bob Kane.
Right.
Everything is associated to Bob. It's like they wanted to wipe him completely off, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy,
you look
bro.
at all the movies over the past couple of years with Batman, or even some of all the recent comics. You never mentioned. I've never seen Bill Finger anywhere. That's crazy.
And he wrote. And Finger wrote Detective Comics 27. Like he wrote that first. So he was a ghost writer too. So he wasn't just an artist. Like Bob Kane had like a stick, like a rudimentary drawing that looked like Superman kinda for Batman, and Finger designed the Batman look, everything except for the wings, and then wrote some of the comics too. Like he did so much of the work. But Bob Kane's dad was a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. So what's that saying right there? You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, bro. But anyway, shout out to my man Bill Fingers, man. And again, rest in peace, but definitely never forgotten. His story will be told and we'll remember it, and your contributions, to not only just, DC, the art itself, but just a legacy cemented of characters that are iconic, a body of work. So definitely shout out, there. So yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks for bringing that up, bro. When you wanted to talk about it, I was like, yeah, that was super dope. Before we get into like a lot, I want to bring up just one other thing here real quick, because we want to talk about this. I'm just kind of anxious to talk about this. And when we talk about this, and let me first off, I did basically forget to address the chat. I do apologize. I was just so anxious to get in and get everything done. But let me actually mention the chat. We got my man Malika Mabane in the building. Peace. Thank you for being here. My man ISO Crazy in the building. Yo, what's up, y'all? Working. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for being here. Amber May is in the building. S Bean is in the building. Thank you for being here. Luminar is in the building. Thank you for being here. Ren's Talentino right now, who's doing a painting with his kneecaps. Thank you for being here, bro. As always, Blazing Asian in the building. Thank you all for basically being here, and those who are tuning in and haven't jumped in yet, thank you for being here. But I want to talk about this real quick because it's worth talking about. We were talking about it behind the scenes, but the reason why is we talk about films and we're talking about the current state of Marvel, DC. We're talking about, we did hear that they are deciding to do like some cuts, on budgets when it comes to like making these top tier films and the amount of money that they put into it. They should have thought about that a long time ago. But one film that was released, now mind you, I saw this film yesterday. I waited because, again, being busy, I couldn't really get out and see it the way I wanted to. But I'm glad I saw it yesterday, last night the way I did. And Vinny, like, literally, bro, you always the luck of the draw to see it first. And I was like, all right, cool. If Vinny likes it, then I know I'm going to like it. Got a chance to see it last night. And boy, -1. Godzilla -1 literally for me is for the year. And I say that for the year because I would want to say that there's two films this year that I'm like, that was phenomenal. That was worth seeing. And it's this and Across the Spider-Verse for me. These two films are my top films of the year right now. That's just basically where I stand. This film was phenomenal from beginning to end. And it wasn't just from the effects of, Godzilla himself, but it was the story that carried the whole way through. People out there who are veterans, who are dealing with PTSD, if there are certain things that you're dealing with that you find it hard sometimes to get through, this movie speaks to those things, but giving you that element of, that, not sci-fi, but just giving you the action you need, placing you to that world and making Godzilla like a boss. This film was phenomenal. Mind you, it was done for $15 million. We talk about $15 million. Did Jason pop off? I thought he said his internet was cool. $15 million, bro. This was done for I gotta say it one more time. $15 million, bro. And they pulled this off. Phenomenal. Like, I can't, literally phenomenal. And bro, I like literally at the end of the film, like I was choking like back tears almost over just the story of him, and then the revelation in the end, which I won't speak for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. But bro, Benny, what's your thoughts on this film, man?
I seen it Thursday, and I had seen a lot of like positive reviews going into it. But you know me, I try to keep my head in the sand when it comes to any kind of feedback to something I know I'm going to see either way. And I'm a huge, like you, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. So
Yeah.
I love all different types of takes on Godzilla. I just love the IP, and I love the different ways that people approach it. The different, he's had movies where he's a bad guy. He's had movies where he's a good guy. He's had movies where it's silly or cheesy. There's been movies where it's serious and dark, and like there's always, and I'm more open to that when there's like other versions. Whereas like sometimes it's like there's so much pressure to get it right because there's only going to be like this one chance with some comic book films. But with Godzilla, it's been done so many different times. I like the different ways people approach it. Well, growing up, Godzilla was really important to me because it was one of my old man's favorite, types of movies. And I watched Godzilla movies with my dad all the time. And I remember it used to be always a lot of human element, and then Godzilla would pop up at the end, and or some monster would pop up at the end. So when they started making like the 2014 Godzilla, I felt that was a phenomenal film because the human element was there and it was good. And then Godzilla pops up at the end. So that was cool to me. And a lot of people just were like, oh, I wanted to see more Godzilla. They got that with King of Monsters, but I still love 14 Godzilla because the way they did the human element was incredible. It was a little bit silly in Godzilla vs. Kong, but again, different strokes. This film is it's a Japanese film that we were lucky to get imported here. It's in subtitles, just heads up for people. But the story is incredible. Godzilla is, not quite a backdrop, but he's not the primary focus. Do not expect Godzilla fucking shit up for 2 hours. That's not what this film is. But when he does show up, he is a different Godzilla than you've been seeing for the past decade.
Yes.
And he is same but different. He's more vicious, more intense, and it's just a completely different feel because it is so much more of a practical, smaller scale approach.
Yeah.
This film is like the best way I can explain what this film is like. It's like imagine a play with cutscenes of incredible CG for Godzilla. Because in between the human element, it plays out like a beautiful Broadway play.
Yep.
The acting is incredible, the story is incredible, and it's just like beautifully, incredibly well acted. Whereas you care about the characters, you care about the city, you care like a lot of times in some of the Godzilla movies, it's like it doesn't feel real. You almost kind of like root for Godzilla to fuck shit up because none of the shit feels real. That's kind of different here. Here's where it's like you feel the weight of Godzilla's actions so much more here. And the audio is incredible. The score is amazing. His theme hits harder than I think I've ever heard it hit.
Hard.
I mean, when it comes in for the first time, I've heard it so many times, but when you hear it here, it's like it punches you in the fucking chest. It's incredible. It is incredible. There's just the character design for Godzilla himself is so good. It's so amazing. It's just such a dope film. I can't wait to see it at home.
Yeah.
As for the budget, it speaks to a few different things. It speaks
Mm-hmm.
to the way that what they call Hollywood accounting, because you can't. I look at some of the budgets for some of the comic book movies and stuff like that, and I see 200-300 million, and I'm like, it feels like fucking money laundering, and like maybe
Yeah.
this is how much you could really make a movie for if Hollywood wasn't dirty. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
that's allegedly, but it just feels like, what are you really spending 300 million on? Like, it's probably some like crooked accounting going on there or something.
Yep.
Because, and maybe this is what happens when it's just clean and straight up.
Mm-hmm.
That said, it's not a 2 hour monster fight fest, so you could save on budget when you can allocate more time to human element. And
Mm-hmm.
unlike certain films where the human element people hate, if it's well acted, well written, you
Mm-hmm.
can get away with less explosions and fights and punches and powers and all that stuff. If the acting of the human element is really good, you add weight to it, and then you can save money too. Imagine that. So it was such a well done film. Written
Yeah.
direct. I gotta look up my man's name. I forget, but it's written, directed, produced, all by the same cat.
Person.
And
Yeah.
yeah, all the same dude. And actually, it might even be less than 15, because they asked him about that, and he was like, "Wow, I wish I got 15 million for this." I'm like, "Wait, what? Was it even less of a budget?"
Yeah.
So it's just a incredible film. I just had so much fun with it. I just love what they did with it, and we are spoiled, yo, because we got
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla and Kong coming next year or
Yep.
late
Yep.
next year, whatever.
Yep.
We got
So,
Monarch going on right
and we
now.
got
We
Monarch
have
Monarch.
going on
this.
TV. So we got
Monarch.
and we got animated joints on Netflix. We got
Yep.
TV show
Yep.
on Apple. We got Legendary doing films in the theaters, and we got
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Japan Soho or whoever did this doing
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Japanese joints that they're porting over here. So like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a Godzilla fan, eat up, because it's good eats out there. It's just amazing. So I was hyped. I loved it. I seen it. I definitely cannot wait to see it again. So if you haven't seen it, hopefully that was spoiler free enough to make
Bro.
you like go out there and just
And I
go
will
check
tell
this out.
you this, that it is definitely not out of the realm of possibility to get nominated for Best Picture. It's not.
This one
It's not.
picture alone pulls me in, bro. Like I don't
Bro,
understand.
it's the human
This
element.
is
And this is
crazy,
why I'm
bro.
telling you, bro, because this guy, and I'm going to tell you this right now, bro, and I wanted to pull him up because he literally made me a believer. Like literally, where is he at? I just had it here. He made me, this character right here, bro, made me a believer, bro.
He was dope.
He was
Mm.
the lead character of the film. He made me a effing believer because the passion, the pure passion, the fear, the regret, the just like literally, bro, just to like him alone, he deserves to be nominated for an award because
I
he
agree.
killed it, bro.
Yep, I
He
agree.
killed it. He sold it. And again, I don't want to give too much away for people who haven't seen it, but just imagine you feeling as though you're responsible for something, and then figuring out
Oh
that
wow.
in order to get that level of redemption, I might have to sacrifice and give more, and you're carrying that regret with you, and it's keeping you from really really carrying on what is supposed to be your own life. And on top of it keeps you at a distance from other individuals, bro. Like
Mm.
that, everything in this character, he killed it, bro. He literally killed it, bro. He definitely made me believe that it was really tumultuous times back then.
Mm.
And bro, this is sheer scope, the cinematography, them making it look like they
Ryunosuke
made it.
Kamiki, that's him.
Construction and everything.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
they
And,
made
and
it look like it, bro.
yo, the director was Takashi Yamazaki. He not only
Yeah,
directed, wrote it, he also did the visual effects.
yeah.
Bro,
Wow,
that's
Wow.
That's crazy.
crazy.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
he did everything himself, bro.
For it to look like, go back to Godzilla. Let me see that picture, bro.
But
Go
you want to
back.
see Godzilla?
Yeah, I just go back real quick because
Hold on. Which one you want to see? This one right
the
here?
one. Come on, dog.
Yeah,
This man did everything.
yeah, bro. Yeah, one man, bro.
if he
Yeah,
don't win
bro.
an award just for his workhorseness,
Well, he was nominated. They were
like,
now -1 was nominated for visual effects. It was so
okay,
far
good.
from what we know, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing else. I haven't heard anything yet. Like they haven't really made the full flesh. But this, bro, honestly, just because of the story itself and
Mm-hmm.
how it pulled you in, you were connected. And I tell you, bro, like Benny said, it's not just if you're expecting to go in this seeing like him fighting monsters. No, 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 no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. Godzilla's character himself was it's he's a product of human testing going wrong and at the same
Of
time
course, yeah.
nature when you're testing on nature. He
Uh,
was just in his element and he wanted to be, the character itself was in his element. He wasn't it was all of it was because what was wrong. He was wronged as a character but as a species existing in his
mm,
own and coexisting in his own space
mm.
and human conditioning tampering. That's what he was a product of, bro. And we got to see that. It was incredible, bro. I thought this movie was well done. It was so well done. I enjoyed it from the beginning and
I'm
end, bro.
going tomorrow afternoon, man. I'm here by
Yeah, I
myself
would,
tomorrow.
bro.
I'm gonna go
Yeah, I
tomorrow
would, bro.
afternoon.
I would definitely go see it because it was
Mhm.
it was phenomenal, and it's definitely. But the reason why we brought this up is because again, now mind you, and I don't know if you have it, but Superman did fight Godzilla and got his ass handed to him a little bit, bro. He
I'm not
did.
reading that book. I'm
You
not
don't want to
reading
hear
that.
this, but he did get his ass
Nah.
handed to
Yeah,
him right
okay.
now.
I'm not
Go
reading
ahead, read it. You want to read it, bro? Go on, read it.
I'll
So he
pass
is
on
part of
that.
Warner Brothers. He was in DC Comics. Go on and read it, bro. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, read it.
There's
He
no
did get
way
spanked.
I love Godzilla, but there's no
Superman did
way in
spank
hell.
him. He
There's
did
no
spank him a
way.
little bit, bro. He gave him a little tail spank. Just like, let me just hit you with this a little quick,
There's
bro.
no way in
Give him a
hell.
skibbity
Yeah,
paps.
bro. They gave him some
Superman
skitty
punch
pads,
right
bro. He
through.
was like,
Skibbity paps.
Superman will
skibbity
fire right
paps.
through that dude's heart like a bow and arrow. Godzilla will be dead. Come on, let's not play games with Kal-El.
Yeah, bro.
Not
He
playing
said I
games
got
with
to dip
Kal-El.
if it's spoilers.
We
It's
try
not.
to do it spoiler free.
We're
Nah, not
doing it
spoiler.
spoiler free,
Well,
bro.
I haven't seen
We
it. I haven't seen it.
yeah, we ain't spoil it. We didn't
Yeah,
spoil it. We were
I'm
just
going
talking about
tomorrow. I'm
how
going tomorrow.
incredible this film is
Yeah.
thus far, and people need to see it, bro. Like,
You know what I want? If
it's
they do it right,
phenomenal.
bro, I need Gazuki. Can we get Gazuki at some point? If they do it right,
You know what?
by the right
Almost, bro.
person,
Like, I want them to continue if they're going to do it right, but at the same time, I
continue it.
almost don't want them to. I almost want them to keep along with this, where he just comes back with a vengeance and they have to figure shit out. Because the way that Jason, when you go see the film, you'll understand why.
All right.
Because the thing is, like, it's not like a antagonist protagonist type of situation. It's just survival. Godzilla, even himself, is just trying to survive. The human condition is trying to survive. It's just that you woke up a beast who wants vengeance because of what you did to him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro, it was crazy. And Vinny, like, bro,
This picture is so
I have
powerful,
never
man.
seen
The
Vinny.
visual.
I have never seen
Crazy.
them portray him as a predator like they did in this film, bro.
Zero fucks.
Like he was a predator. He was a fucking beast. And bro, the atomic blast was the best iteration I have ever seen in a Godzilla film.
Oh,
Period.
I wasn't ready.
Period. I was not ready. It was the best iteration I have ever seen on screen. I have never seen his blast like that before, and felt the effect. It was that phenomenal, bro. Killed it.
Yep.
Yeah,
So no spoilers, but go see Godzilla -1.
Go see it. Go see it. Definitely,
tomorrow, everybody. So y'all should go tomorrow.
Definitely go check it out, man, because it's worth checking out. It's something that again you want to see, and it's worth it. It definitely is worth it. So that's my take. And on top of that, $15 million budget, bro.
Yeah.
Just keep that in your head when you go see it. Just keep it in your head that this was done for only $15 million. $15 million budget.
So somebody put up a meme with showing this like as a video on the top half of the screen. Then you seen at the bottom half of the screen Flash catching babies, and it was like 260 million or whatever. And it's like how is that possible? How is that possible, bro? Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, bro. Straight up.
Yeah.
$15 million. And then we get
Get this
that.
man over here and give us a Batman versus Clayface movie.
Give us something, bro.
Something.
Definitely. Moving on. I want to move on into this. Now, mind you, this is going to be a hot topic a bit because again, there are certain discussions about this going around right now. And this is the origins story of Nightcrawler and Mystique. Now, here's the thing, and then I'll let you guys go because, like I said, I just want to hear it because the biggest argument right now is that the origin story of this character was changed. But then I think about it, I'm like, well, I don't think the origin story was really fleshed out because we got different iterations of it even before this. For everybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, story sort of goes like Mystique is the parent or the mother of Nightcrawler who abandoned him. So that's basically, I just want you to think about that first. That was the story that we got then when we found out that Kurt Wagner himself was associated with the character. Then we got another origin story, whereas, again, Mystique was coerced in, again, sleeping with Azazel, who then birthed, this child. Again, they wanted to follow with that same scheme. He was left, right? Then we got this particular iteration now. We're getting this one. So in this particular story, for people who don't know, it's like this. Mystique and Destiny, for people that don't know, they're a couple in the books, right? So that's just basically the way it is. And that's fine. That's just how it works. But also, we're discovering that Mystique isn't really a morpher. She doesn't morph. So her powers isn't the simple fact that she's not a changeling. She's a gene manipulator. So she's basically able to manipulate her appearance, but also internally. We also discovered that it is a possibility that she can even smuggle weaponry inside of her, right? But the way the story is being told in the Fall of X storyline is that Destiny and Mystique wanted to have a child, but because of who they were, they knew that they wouldn't be accepted in society. So Mystique was coerced Zazel was coerced in believing that Nightcrawler was his biological son. When in fact, the story is Mystique, with gene manipulations, manipulated herself into being the father of Nightcrawler by impregnating Destiny. So I'm like, okay, this is the story that's basically being told right now. And the story, or the rumor is, or not even a rumor, because it is in fact said that Chris Claremont, this is Chris Claremont's original idea for the character, but because of the times itself, they wouldn't, and Marvel would not allow him to tell this story the way it was, so they changed it. And this is where it is now. Now, again, I doing research, I'm like, there's a lot, but I'm okay with that. And I was okay with everything. The problem was I had to figure out, well, how would that work if in fact he still takes on the same personification or the same powers and appearance, just blue, of Azazel? So are you telling me that in fact Mystique again had a relationship with Azazel during that transaction? Okay, bodily fluids, whatever. She kept a sample of his genes or a sample of, whatever, and then used that to then manipulate her genes and, change, and used what he provided to get Destiny pregnant. And then, of course, Kurt Wagner is the outcome. That's the only way that I can explain it, and that it would make sense if it's something like that happened. Now, mind you, when I heard this, I'm like, okay, it's nothing new because we know that Marvel has a tendency to change the origin. and there's always an origin that's happening. Now, a lot of people were like, okay, was this origin story changed because of the way things are now?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it is what it is, bro. I don't, me myself, I don't look at it, you know, through rose tinted glasses. I don't look at it and ignore it. I look at it with full transparency. There's the times everybody deserves a shot. Everybody deserves a space. How that translates in comics from people who have read comics for years, that's something totally different. And I knew that this was going to be a tricky thing to tackle. And by them doing this, it was going to spur a lot of conversations. With that basically being said, I'm turning this over to you first, Vinny. What is your thoughts on that, bro?
My first thoughts is I would love to hear what Chris Claremont had to say, because if they are trying to retroactively give themselves a don't a pass to like not a Saint some new school LGBTQ thing that we're trying to do. This was an old school idea that we're just now in a climate where that's more that's less jarring than it would have been in the 80s. If that's what Chris had to say, like, yeah, I wanted to do it back but it feels like some it kind of feels like, man, just say that you wanted to do that back then, like, shh, don't tell nobody.
Right,
But
right, right.
if not, if that was really his idea, cool. It's an interesting explanation. What's a little bit frustrating about it is that you you could have used that as an explanation to create uh another character, and did that versus confuse people the uh with how he got his powers. Okay, so it takes away that Azazel's his dad, which is fine. I guess it's not that big a deal. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I really have a strong attachment to that being, his lineage. If you want to change it up, it's not as, oh, that's bullshit to me as changing up that Wanda and Pietro are Magneto's kids. Like, I don't have that same attachment to Nightcrawler as a character, so I'm not going to pretend like that is outrageous. However, if you want to say um, that Mystique is able to change her gender and impregnate a woman because internally she can manifest uh, complete biology of the gender that she shapeshifts into. That's one thing, but she's infamously known for not being able to copy mutant genes. So, for instance, if she can make herself look like Logan, but if she gets shot, she dies. So if she copied Azazel's appearance, she wouldn't have his mutant genomes to pass on to her son to give him the same powers. Now, don't get me wrong. There are mutants whose children don't have the same powers as them, but they went out of the way to explain, Azazel's his dad, and he has those powers to him, and it set up a whole interesting dialogue between Kurt's Christianity conflicting with his demonic appearance.
Yeah.
You kind of take all that ideology away in order to put that character and story narrative into a different basket, being gender fluidity. So it's like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul story wise. So I'm not going to sit here and say like I have a huge issue with it, but it does it does create some story problems and some plot holes, because you had 30 years to come up with other ways to show that she had that ability, or that had that power. If she became another you could have had her gain some, like low level grade powers of mutants who she copied. You know what I mean? To kind of set that up. Like, there's other things you could have did to not create this plot hole. I guess that's my biggest problem with it. Like, take all the uh trans stuff and put it to the side for a second. Like, however you feel about that, that's how you feel about that. I'm not in control of how people feel about that. And even if you don't have issues with it, there's issues with the story anyways. So I guess that's my take on it. I just feel like you kind of cleaned up the story with Azazel, and it made perfect sense. And then this kind of seems like um we'll go to that well of there's no such definition of a woman as what you want to be, and here's like the poster child for that, and maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know, but it's not as I'll have the same problem with it I have with, like, say, Iceman or Tim Drake. I feel like those are much more headline grabbers without really caring about the actual story. Whereas this one, I feel like they at least tried to make, it makes more sense. I get more where they were going with it, or like, oh, this would be a cool idea. I just feel like they could have did more to set it up to make it an easier pill to swallow, because there's chinks in that armor of that story. There's issues with it. Also, the panel with her giving birth, and she's in like the all fours position with like pants on. They could have thought that out better. I don't know where that came from. That was really weird and odd. But I don't know. It sets up a big problem with Nightcrawler's powers, because they went out of the way to explain the religious thing is his dad, and now you kind of take that away just to build up, like,
peace.
Love wins, and I mean, and that's true, but like, you could have did other things to give yourselves a shield against the questions that are going to be brought up with his power set after you did that. But it's X-Men. If there's any book where you can get away with kind of like radical stories and ideas, that's the place for it. So it's not really that big a shock. But to me, it just, I feel like they could have thought it out a little bit better.
Yeah, I think, and I'm gonna go to you, Jason, in a minute here. It feels like the story that they were leaning a lot into was trying to create that human, or that that attachment, or to bring that full circle with the relationship with Nightcrawler and humanizing her, showing the emotions and the attach, and trying to gain like that connection between, creating that connection between her and Kurt, right? So it just feels like that was what they were trying to do. Here's what I'm saying. I would have been okay with all of this if, in fact, we knew earlier on that this was, and I'm okay with it even now. My biggest thing is, it's not what they decided to do. It's how they're explaining, and if this happened, why is that Kurt Wagner still basically has the same power set of Azazel, but you're not explaining that portion of it, and you can't leave that out. You can't leave that out.
They just made like, when she's a woman, she can she can produce sperm, and it's like, okay, well then, how's that explained? Like, why wouldn't Kurt be a shapeshifter then? Right. And not to say that again, mutants don't necessarily have to have the same powers as their parents, but you went out of the way to explain that he had the same powers as Azazel when you didn't have to. So if like you said, they could have easily made it where she she absorbed, or took some of his DNA and just made it part of her biological, internally, and used it to create a child. That would have been cool. That would have made sense. But they didn't. It's like they didn't think that it mattered. But
exactly, this is my point. Hasn't had any other biology. That's it. You got to think this through, because you can't just throw something like that out there without explaining it, because it's not, and it's going to
Right.
create discussions, and you're pigeonholing yourself into
Right.
that well.
She never.
And to say that Claremont, again,
I
I
don't know
read the
why.
article, and there's supposed to be footage out there, but I did read the article, and what Claremont said, he did say that there were elements of the story and how he wanted to basically make it to whereas Destiny and Mystique had this child, but there was certain specific jargon that was used at that time that could have been interpreted a totally different way. You know what I mean? So, but again, if that was his
Plus, when
idea,
Claremont said
fine.
that, there was no Azazel.
Exactly. There was
Yeah.
none
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
So again, if this is what they wanted to do, that's completely fine. But you had to understand that you should have explained this ability or this discovery of what she can do with her powers. That should have been explained a long time ago,
But
and it
see,
wasn't. But go ahead,
They did.
Jason. Go ahead,
but
Jason.
see, back in the day, even back in the day when her power set, like when she turned to a man, she didn't have that power to biologically be able to have children that way as a male. She was born, female, so she still could only have kids the regular female way. If she even turned to a guy, she wasn't reproducing like that as a guy. So now I think with this swing and turn of things, like you were saying, the connection with Azazel was just
Yeah.
no more, and Nightcrawler still have the same powers. It makes no sense. With me, I'm looking at this like they're just trying to sell books, and um, for everyone. The inclusion, and I don't listen. Everybody has their own, should have their own space. You know what I'm saying? But when you change a character, like this, and you cut off an origin of a real origin of Nightcrawler to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people might get upset the way I'm saying it, but I just see it as a ploy to sell books. You're trying to appease to everybody in the audience, and I understand that, and I get that. But she's never could do that in the past. So now all of a sudden, with Nightcrawler and only Nightcrawler, she can do this and have this baby with Destiny. It makes no sense to me at all. And like when he was saying earlier, like, or why couldn't she have any other kids then, as a man? If that's the case, only with Nightcrawler, he's just a special mutant baby.
Yeah, it's
It makes
tough.
no sense
It's
to me,
tough
bro.
because the thing is, the one thing I don't want them to do, especially within the X-Men property,
Mm,
is to pigeon themselves into this discussion and then
yeah,
have to see that translated in live action. Because really, at this point,
it's not gonna work.
you have to explain it right. It has to
Yeah,
be explained right. There has to be a decent motive behind it. You can't just throw it out there and expect
right.
people to connect the dots when you're not explaining it the right way.
You
It's
can't
not gonna
just
work.
throw a pitch and expect the batter to swing at
It's
every
not gonna
ball you
work.
throw at him, and it's not gonna work. Just
Nah,
like
bro.
you can't just throw a curveball and expect every
To
batter
me,
that
to me, this is
that
exactly how I
plate to
felt
hit.
like when they did Iceman shit. It was like, oh, we want one of them. We wanted more of them to be, gay characters, which is
Yeah,
cool.
character.
But you can't
Right.
just ignore 70 years, 60 years of writing, and just
Exactly.
because you have a need for that type of character at that point in time. If you don't explain it well, then it's going. Like it's nothing wrong with pandering. Like that's how we grow and
Hmm.
make more people
I agree. That's
included
my
in
opinion.
the things that we enjoy. But if
Hmm.
you're just doing it to, you know, get those different things without any kind of thought process on how you get there, then
Hmm.
your intentions kind of like outweigh. It has to be well done. You have to think it out because you want people to like the story instead of pick it apart, because if
Hmm.
you're sitting here thinking of the logistics versus just the writing or the story and stuff like
Her
that,
whole
then
ideology
you're
changes.
you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that's my whole thing. It's like it's actually a cool idea because I
Hmm.
mean there's certain scrolls that can um change it to a human
The
and
Hulkling.
male, like there's certain
Hulkling.
scrolls that can that
Hmm.
Yeah.
can all the way
They
down to the
they can
cellular,
alter exactly.
Hulkling.
Yeah.
and
Hulkling.
like
Yeah. Hmm.
scrolls can turn into a human to the point where they can have a kid that's human because that's
Yeah.
how on a molecular structure they can
They.
alter their makeup.
Mhm.
All right, so explain that. You know what I mean? You can't just have a if you never explain it and just have a scroll one day, just have a human kid and just say, "Oh, see, we can." Like, if you don't explain some of these things, then it's like then you open yourself up to all these problems. And then I think one of the big things that hurt them is they're forgetting that it's not something that was never explained. Like, you can't tell us a Wolverine origin and then that conflicts with Paul Jenkins' origin. Like,
Right.
you gave Nightcrawler an origin, and then
Right.
you're rewriting it without explaining. This isn't a reboot. This isn't New 52 or something where you just have a new story. Like, this is the same continuity. It's same
Yeah.
canon, and then you're just taking away something that already happened and just saying, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't act like you cared about Azazel." It's like, well, that's not the point. The point is you can't just make shit up as you go along and expect people not to ask questions.
He looks
That's
like
all.
his
Not to have
father.
a
He looks like his father and has the skin tone of his mother. That made so much sense. I don't understand that.
That's the thing. I could see if there was never an origin or there never a backstory, or if they only ever said that Mystique was his mom and never said who his dad was. If they did that I wouldn't have had a single question. I'd be like, oh, okay. But you set it up where you already explained it that it was Azazel. So,
but this setup right here could have been their chance to make an original character. An original character. They had the whole story and everything. Mystique could have been for another character. It didn't have to be for Nightcrawler. It could have been where Mystique had this change, and she could have mutated and been able to have kids and had another kid. You know what I'm saying? Why have Azazel take him from being Azazel's son, and have her being Mystique being the
you
father.
Could have created a new character with
it. It could have been Nightcrawler's brother or something like that, where another character could have been. That was your chance to do something original. That's why I get a little flustered, because it's like, yo, you're changing characters that have been around since the 70s to appease to today, instead of just making another character that would appease to today. That will have every audience will have a character or a character to relate to in their own way. Or you know what I'm saying? Why change something that's been there since comics began to appease to whatever audience? You had a chance to make a brand new character right here with the story, and you blew it.
And here's the thing, bro. I have the book and I read it, and it's beautifully written when it comes to the emotional tug of war, and what she's experiencing. Because, again, they, for those who don't know, basically both her and Destiny had the child, but in order to carry on with the illusion, they had Professor X wipe the memory of that child from them both. But Mystique would still sense it. She would still feel it. She would still know that she had a child, but not know the backstory. You know what I mean? So he wiped their minds, at a certain point, to carry that on, because they knew that, Azazel at that time, believing that he had an heir, he would come after Kurt, and it could have changed the story. But this was, again, Kurt's destiny to be the hero that he is and to be where he was. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that goes into it, but it was beautifully written, but there was a lot of plot holes. That's the biggest problem. There was a lot of plot holes into how you disassociate the character with Azazel, yet give him the same unique abilities. Yeah. So again, that's where it creates the problem. But anyway, don't want to spend too much time on it. Go out there if you haven't read this book, read it yourself, and you'll understand what we're talking about. And look, here's the thing: no problems with it. That was the only problem. My biggest problem was the association and the disassociation from Azazel. That was my biggest problem.
I don't like that. That's my biggest issue.
So again, it is what it is, man. And we'll see how it plays out going forward. But it was a beautifully written story. If you haven't read it, check it out. Next up, what I want to talk about right now is this right here. The simple fact that we have gotten some of the reviews in and what people have been saying so far about Echo. And so far, it's been positive, bro. They was like, yo, if you want that feel, if you want that bloody, if you want that same feel from the Netflix Daredevil, then you are in for a treat with this, bro. Everybody is talking about, and again, they're like, there were certain, cuts, certain scenes that might have been, the pacing of it might have been different, but the Native American culture is there, just the history of this character and history of her people. But at the same time, again, the story is beautifully written. So yeah, let's go. Like I'm definitely excited about what we know from what they're saying about, this show so far. And it makes me feel good that now that Disney decided to release it all at once, that again,
That's
a lot of
cool.
people were setting it up for failure,
That's
thinking
cool.
it was going, just because Disney said that, it was going to be terrible.
Mhm.
Nah, a lot of people have seen it so far, said it's an amazing show so
Yeah, I
far.
want to say it.
Vinny, is this on your anticipation list, bro?
Absolutely. I mean, I enjoyed her in the comics, and I feel
Hmm.
like um, that was a character I was anxious about seeing if they nailed when they did her in Hawkeye, and she was dope on Hawkeye. I mean, her
Hmm.
backstory was cool. That her flashback episode was amazing, and then her on the show, I felt like they started off strong, and it got a little muddy towards the end with her character. But I was obviously excited to know that, no matter how she did on air, she had a show coming, and I was nervous about that being one of the things they dropped because, let's face it, that's not the most household name character they could do, but there's a lot of cultural significance with her, and
Yeah.
I loved her power set. I know that they're supposed to be tweaking her power set. I'm not sure exactly how, but I'm anxious because I've been pretty much avoiding everything, of course. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
anxious to find out, what they do with her. I know that there's supposed to be rumors of, Daredevil and Kingpin on the actual show, which, obviously makes sense and is very
Mhm.
likely, to be in there to set up Born Again. But I'm with it. I want to see more of Maya for sure. So I can't wait. And I also love that, like, it's all going to drop on one day, and
That's great.
that's
Yeah.
going to be so dope
Yeah, I can't wait for
because,
that.
I love, I love the weekly formats because it gives you build up an excitement, and there's definitely something to be said for, that formula. But it's also cool to just binge the shit out of a new show all at
Yeah.
once too. So I would like for them to just, even if it does well, still keep both formats. Have something, like, have certain shows that they do like the spotlights where they just give it to us all at once, and then have other shows where they stretch it out to keep you on the hook. So I'm with it. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, this darker, um, bloodier, more violent, gives us an open
Mhm.
door to more violent content, because obviously that's one of the things that Disney has as, on a not well known for. Like, a lot of people are, obviously don't believe that Disney's capable of giving us content that's more mature themed. So I would love to see this be uh, more
Better
mature
show.
themed and then be successful,
Mhm.
so that they don't have hesitations making, say, a season 2 of Moon Knight be more bloody,
Yeah.
or a Punisher show being possible. Because I don't want to see a Punisher show if it ain't violent. So
Exactly.
hopefully this
Hey.
is violent, and it does well. I highly disagree that Disney Plus shouldn't be able to have violent content because,
Hmm. Hmm.
put that label up there and run it.
Yeah, bro.
Not for the kids.
Run that.
Is he wearing that black suit?
No, this right here is just it's a mock up. It's not
Oh,
this
I'm
ain't
about to
yeah, it's
say. I'm
not a
already thinking
Yes,
like,
I was
oh
like,
my
is that
god,
Shadowlands? What the fuck?
He
nah,
wearing the
nah.
Shadowland
It's not
suit?
I mean, who knows what we can see, but this is just
Oh,
mainly
I
a
hope
mock up. It's
so.
not something that was
Ooh.
from any type of trailer or any footage. No, this is just mainly a mock up. That's all.
Oh, that is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That this right here, bro, is
Mm-mm.
it is definitely one of my most anticipated, man. I cannot
This is
wait
going to be
to
really
binge
good.
it. It's going to be
Yeah.
incredible, man.
Yeah, it's
It's
going to be
definitely going
good.
to be incredible. And if they basically, again, we know there's going to be deviations. We know that. I already know that. I don't have any type of expectation that it's going to actually stick to the script because we know how they do. But
Hmm.
I just want to enjoy it and at least give her some time in the sun. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
no doubt, man.
that's definitely one I want to see right off the back. And again, like I said, the reviews for this have been definitely positive, like super duper positive. So yeah, man, I cannot wait
This is going to be
to
this is
see
going to be
this.
good. This is going to be good.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be good. I got a good feeling about this one, man.
You
It's gonna
got
be
a good
good.
feeling.
Yeah,
You
I
got a
can't
super
wait.
good. You
I'm ready for this, man.
you ready for
Wow.
this, bro? You definitely
Yeah,
ready for it.
I want that
So
Shadowland Daredevil. That's what I want on the
hell
show.
yeah, bro. You excited, right?
I
So
need
let
it.
me see if I can take your excitement down a notch.
Come on, man. This little ass dude gonna play Max Lord. Like that's
Well,
crazy.
here's bro. Here's my thing,
Oh
right?
my god.
Here's
Max Lord. Max Lord looks like man Dolph Lundgren. And
yo.
you got this guy is gonna play Max. I almost fell over in my chair. Like you gotta be kidding me, bro.
Here's my thing, bro. And I'm just gonna say it like this. And I'm at this point, like I just don't give a shit,
It's good when you're his brother, his friend, his wife,
bro.
friend of the
Like,
family, cousin. He'll hire you.
look, this is my point, bro. Like, you are literally showing your hand, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you are literally showing your hand, and you're not explaining you are explaining yourself into a box. It would have been best if you didn't just say shit because we
Yeah.
knew what you were gonna do.
Dude, when I see this, I hear that meme. Surprise, surprise.
We, bro, like
Surprise,
we knew
surprise.
that you were. I knew that his brother was going to end up somewhere in
Yeah.
his films.
Yeah.
His sister is going to end. I mean, not his sister. His wife is going to end up somewhere in this film. You know, other characters that he's played around in the sandbox
The
with.
Green Lantern homeboy.
Yeah, like it is. Look, it's to be expected. But the problem is, you literally have a. You're not saying it, but you're saying it without saying it. You literally have a problem with Gal Gadot. You literally have a problem with Henry Cavill. And I understand that you have a vision. And I want to see that vision fleshed out because I'll definitely be in the theaters to see it. But I don't give a fuck what anybody tries to say, bro. Some of this it's blatantly obvious that it was going to happen. Is just that we all as viewers we pointed it out before it happened. Now, here's the thing, bro. I am not a fan of Maxwell Lord. I'm just going to tell you that right now. He's just a throwaway character to me. I don't care how you tried to make him important, in the recent iterations. I don't care how you tried to basically make this character important with the infamous him, coming up with the ability to manipulate Superman and manipulate different characters and stuff like that. Him getting killed off by Wonder Woman, shot in the head to make him look like a martyr and whatever.
Really hard to make him important.
They tried very hard to make him important, which to me he was a throwaway. I have never ever been a fan of Maxwell Lord. He has been a corny character for me since day one. I don't care. Yeah. So I'm just not with it. But you're bringing him in, and then on top of that, like, here's my problem, bro. Are you afraid to tell? Okay, your main character is Clark, Superman, whatever. I'm afraid, and the thing is, it's like I don't want to be because I know James Gunn is going to be okay. I know he's going to be okay, and I know he's going to give us something, and I'm really excited to see it. But I just think the board is stacked, just like another film that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. I think the board is stacked with a lot of shit, and I'm like, a lot is being talked about. We're seeing a lot of this with these films where they have to tell us everything, bro.
Everything, though.
Like they have to tell us everything. If you're going to bring him up as Maxwell Lord, okay, cool. Your brother's Maxwell Lord. I want to see what his iteration, his interpretation of the character. Are you going to go with the goofy version of Maxwell Lord? Or are you going to go with the more serious version?
No, hell no. He'll be goofy.
You know what I mean? Like I want to see that. I definitely want to see how that's going to be because again, they're going to have to now it's just my personal because I don't like the character. I've never liked Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, me neither.
I never liked but if you give him a level of importance in your film and it's supposed to be that way, okay, it is what it is. Vinny, what are your thoughts about this, bro?
To elaborate on your point about it being like you're telling on yourself, obviously Maxwell Lord was used in Wonder Woman 84, and obviously if they're casting him, it's a reboot, and
reboot,
they've been
exactly.
very ambiguous whether they're going to recast and reboot the Wonder Woman franchise and Gal Gadot. And this is kind of like them not firing you, but you know, you seeing somebody else in your parking spot when you show up to work, and
Exactly.
instead of them saying, "Hey, we gotta let you go," this is like, you know, like you read between the lines. Why do we have to read between the lines? Have the balls to make an announcement and say Gal's out. We're gonna recast Wonder Woman. Just tell us. How are you gonna tell us? How are you gonna tell us in a roundabout, a roundabout ass way? Just doesn't make any sense. It's just it's so weird. It's so childish to me, in my opinion. I just feel like it's a little childish because even if that's not the case, even if hypothetically Gal's still going to be Wonder Woman, you know damn well that this casting decision and announcement wasn't leaked. It was announced. Is going to make people assume what we're assuming and put pressure on Gal. Like, I'm sure her phone's blowing up. Like, yo, if does this mean that you out? Like, and then what if she don't even know yet? And then she has to, I don't know. I'll let you know when they let me know. Like, why are we finding out casting decisions via other casting decisions and having to like play Sherlock Homeboy to figure out what's going on in DC? Is from somebody who's pretending to be super transparent through responding to every Tom, Dick, and Harry on Twitter.
And this is my point.
So
that's my
like,
point. And
so
that's
playing
why
games.
Exactly.
He's playing games.
And
so,
this is
and that's a totally different point than, you know, casting your brother and shit, and especially in a role that don't even really fit the character. Like that isn't, you know, really what he. That's not Maxwell Lord to me, and I don't even like Maxwell Lord like that either. But that don't look like how he looks in any of the comic versions.
No.
And why is Maxwell Lord in this? Like, what the fuck does he got to do?
Well, here's the thing, though. He's not saying that he's
Superman.
not. So he's not saying that he's going to actually be in this film.
Okay, that's just a general
He's
casting
not.
announcement.
So he's not going to be in the Legacy. It's just that in general, he's going to make him Maxwell Lord for a future project. That's what he's doing. But here's my thing. Here's my thing, though, real quick, because Nathan, this is where I kind of disagree with what you're saying right now. Here, you're saying that it's easy to dog on James when it's not your name on that. Nobody's dogging on him because, like I said, I want to see the film and I want to see him succeed. He's given us a great body of work with the Guardians. He's done that. Opinions don't matter until the movie starts. Well, here's the problem. James Gunn, honestly, love him like a play cousin, but he needs to shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Plain and simple. He needs to shut up and not talk. Don't let people know what you're doing. The right hand letting them know what the left hand's doing. Just put it out. You don't have to explain yourself on social media. If you have a vision, see your vision through. You don't have to let anybody know anything. And what he continues to do is get on when somebody asks questions, or if somebody puts something up, he has to defend his reasoning. I don't give a bro. If you make him and you want him to be this, don't give a fuck what people say. Fuck it. He's Maxwell Lord. That's what it is. In the discussion. And I wouldn't even say that. That's who he is. Boom. Let it be gone. But the problem is James Gunn keeps talking. Instead of just basically just sitting back and not saying too much, he keeps talking. Be quiet. Put your stuff out there. Do whatever. But at the same time, the mishandling of what they allow Gal Gadot to do, because basically before she did that interview, they knew well enough in hand to say, look, Gal, we're going a totally different direction. After these films, we're going a totally different direction. Just to let you know, don't string her along and then let her come out in public, because it's the same shit. That shit happened. The same shit that happened with fucking Henry Cavill. You allowed her to do the same shit just for her to be made a fool out of. That shit right there is what I didn't like.
It's messy.
It's kind of messy in that aspect,
it's
bro.
Messy, and you know what? It's absolutely within realms to criticize it, and because what we do here is we give opinions, positive and negative, and you can't say opinions don't matter unless you agree. Because if we're saying that this casting choice is amazing and this is going to be dope and James Gunn is going to kill it and Superman Legacy is going to make a whole bunch of money and I cannot wait, that's a positive opinion that wouldn't be frowned upon that we're making before we see it too. So if you can make an assumption about something that didn't come out positively, it's cool. But if you make an opinion about something that didn't come out as negative, then it's you haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it yet in a positive aspect either. When you see a trailer for a movie coming out and you're like, oh, that shit looks dope. No one says you don't even know what's going to be like. You haven't seen it yet.
Right.
You can have an opinion about something that hasn't come out yet based on history. We've been watching these films. We've been reading these comics for many years. And for the most part, we are always pleasantly surprised here and there. Don't get me wrong. We are never 100% perfect and accurate. Trust me on that. I will never say I'm always right. But there's a pattern. Like there's news that comes out and you're like, oh, that looks good. That sounds good. That sounds cool. That sounds cool. Okay, cool. It was dope. And a lot of times, then the film actually is dope. And then there's some times where that news, I don't know. I don't like that. All right, but let me give the movie a chance. Oh, it was actually dope. Okay, cool. Yeah. I was wrong. But a lot of times, no, it was miss. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But until a movie comes out, we can sit here and say, oh, I don't know. If all we ever did was talk about shit that's already out, then it's like, trust me, they want people talking about these films before they come out. And
they
the only thing
attention.
we can if no one had anything to say positive or negatively about Superman Legacy until July 25th, 2025 or whatever the date was, they would be pissed that there was no buzz. They want buzz, whether it's positive, negative. They want people talking about it. Exactly. There's a reason why they're giving you all these damn announcements. There's a reason why they're giving you all these leaks. There's a reason why every other month there's news and there's they want people talking about it. And even if some of that stuff is negative that we have to say, we're honest. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, man, this dude is the Brando of this generation. I can't wait to see his Maxwell Lord. If I don't feel that way, we ain't going to say it.
Exactly.
So
that's what it is, bro. And on top of that, like I said, I'm going to be hypercritical about anybody who's directed. It doesn't have to be James Gunn. It can be about anybody. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is, bro, here's what I'm going to say, bro. Like, you have, it's on two fronts. You have your Zack Snyder loyalists, and then you have your James Gunn loyalists, right? You have two different two different sides, bro, that defend to a T. Because in their minds, they can do no wrong.
Exactly.
Nobody said that 100% that Zack Snyder's vision was perfect, because it was not at all.
Trust me, bro. All three of us have loved shit Snyder's done and have not liked shit Snyder's done.
And have not liked shit that he's basically done.
Shit Gunn has done and have not liked shit Gunn has done.
Exactly.
So we're not sitting here if we have something negative to say about James Gunn. It's like, man, I want his shit to fail because I love Snyder. That ain't where we're coming from. That's not where we're coming from.
Right. And it's like I love what James Gunn has given me with Guardians. Like that, what he did with Guardians was one of the best Marvel trilogies or whatever they've had out.
So now you get into territory that doesn't make sense. But
it's
I'm just gonna leave it there.
But it's like, bro, like the way he's handling WB right now is like a kid. It's very childish, bro. Very, very catty, dog. Like the way he did Cavill and Gal Gadot, like that's unprofessional as hell. I don't respect that. And then you go and turn around. Oh, I'm looking for talent. This, that, and the third. You hire your wife.
I'm sorry.
Like,
bro. I mean, I don't know about his wife yet, but I'm pretty sure she's going to show up and she's going to make an appearance or something. So I know that's going to actually happen. But his brother's basically showing up. I mean, look, it's fine. There's a lot of directors, there's a lot of writers out there that will hire people that they've worked with because they feel comfortable with it, and that's completely fine. Not defending that. I mean, I'm not. When he got
the job, the rub was that he was just going to use shit that he made up and the shit that he liked and scrap all the rest that he didn't have his hand in. And he denied, and people who are heavy fans was like, "That's bullshit. Why would you say that?" But the proof is in the pudding. That's what he's done.
Yeah,
plays an Asian, exactly. Definitely, I would have loved to see a look. I love the Justice League. I didn't have a problem with it at all. I love the Justice League. I love Zack Snyder's vision for it.
Same page blazing. Yep.
I'm willing to let it go and move on to basically see what James Gunn does. But to say, and I think this is where it's a false statement because you're not really speaking for the public, because I think the public definitely wanted Cavill. A lot of people did want Cavill.
I wanted Cavill.
A lot of people out there did want Henry Cavill. to continue on. Now,
Yeah.
mind
A
you,
lot of the problems people had with those films were not the casting. It was
it wasn't the casting at all.
story.
But here's the thing, bro. It was the writing. It was it was writing on top of that. It was promotion. It was things that were going on in the back end that were more of a problem than anything. But at the same time, even though I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, if you're going to give us a totally different iteration, that's completely fine. I'm just saying on the back end, things had to be cleaned up, and you knew damn well that you had your vision before you allowed these people. It would have been a gag order, bro. If I'm coming in, I'd be like, you know what? You're not allowed to talk about any of these things. Yeah, NDA. Don't sign. Don't say nothing because we're not completely sure where we're going with this vision right now. So just leave it alone. Don't say shit. We'll get back to you to let you know what the vision is and what we're definitely doing. But no, nobody got behind that. It was, again, like they said, like Charlie the Unicorn said, bad fucking press and PR. Yeah. That's what they have. Bad fucking press and PR. Nobody gets behind these people to say, look, you need to stop doing this shit.
Say this shit. Exactly.
You need to stop doing it. But at the same time, I'm rooting for James Gunn because I don't want to see him fail because I know he does a good job. He gives a great body of work. So you're misinformed and you're not hearing me right if you think, in fact, that I'm attacking him. That's not the case because I'm gonna tell you if he's doing right or wrong. If he's good, 100% I'm gonna support him. If he puts out trash, I'm gonna let you know. Same with Snyder and same with any other director that I enjoy.
And it's crazy
if you're trash, you're trash. If you put some trash out, it's gonna be called trash. Plain and simple. But I will celebrate your successes. Plain and simple. That's just how it rolls.
All of us on this panel love Superman one way or another. Me, overly. I don't have the Superman figures and 1/6 scales in this room. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see him fail, especially with Superman.
Exactly.
Plus,
we don't want another 10 years of him to start over after this.
Exactly. To start him over again, bro. It's like, come on. So I don't want to see him fail. But I just don't like the way that he's doing things professionally. He's been very unprofessional the way he's handling WB and these actors. It's fucked up. I mean, only because, but it's messed up. You know what I'm saying? How he's doing these actors, bro. It's like I don't like it, bro. Like you had this man embarrass himself the day after or before Shazam came out, and before Black Adam came out and said I'm back. Yo, like the internet went that day. The internet went bananas, and then a week later he's fired. Like, come on, dude. Like that was dirt. That was dirty.
It's like you pulled the rug right up from under him, bro, with no full explanation. And that's my only thing. But that's the thing, bro. I've already made peace with the fact that we're not going to get. We're done with it. We're not going to see him anymore. That's fine. You're not going to see Cavill as Superman. You probably won't see Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. That's fine. You're definitely not going to see Ben Affleck as Batman. So he's done. We're not going to see those characters, so that's those actors portray the characters. You're moving on to fresh blood. That's fine. My problem is, like we've been saying, it's the handling of the situation. The PR is not on top of it, but we do want to basically see those successes, and we'll leave it right there. But everybody has a right to their opinion. I'm not going to challenge yours. Definitely doesn't give you a right to challenge mine, but you can speak your piece, and we can all live an abundance of peace, plain and simple.
I think they need to find out how these rumors and these things are getting out of these boardrooms. They gotta do better with their verbal security per se.
Yeah,
because it's ridiculous, bro. Like, people, if you come in the room in this meeting, sign the shit. If it's out this room, somebody's getting fined. Simple as that, bro. Like, it's ridiculous, bro, to me.
Exactly, Charlie the Unicorn. Exactly. We can call a spade a spade. This Superman movie has a tremendous pressure. Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that it does. Aquaman, I'm not sure how it will do in the cinema. The trailer looks decent. Definitely does. Again, there's a lot to come. And again, like anybody who's associated with the Snyder Universe, this is how it's going to be. But again, I'm hoping for the best. And I wanted to succeed. I think we all do, and we're just gonna keep it there. Moving on to something else, though, really quick before this is the last topic because it's like an interest of time. This right here, man, like, and Vinny, I'm gonna tell you while I'm mad, bro. gonna tell you why I'm mad, bro.
You already know why I'm mad.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad, son. I'm gonna tell you why I'm mad, son. The reason why I'm fucking mad is because all we are getting is leaks. Leaks. Now, here's the thing, bro.
They're gonna have a mutant called WikiLeaks after this bitch.
Here's what I don't fucking get, bro. You know for a fact that you are trying to keep this shit tight-lipped, right?
You're right.
I don't think they are.
No, listen, hear me out, though. Hear me out, right?
Yeah.
We know for a fact that the consensus is that from what we think is that they want to keep the shit Trump tight. But here's where I think they're going with this shit. And this is what pisses me off. You were in production with this fucking film earlier on, right? The strike happens. First, the writer's strike happens. So Ryan Reynolds is not allowed to improvise at all. He has to stick to the script because he was a writer, a co-writer on this film.
Mm-hmm.
The actor strike happens, so everything is halted. Quiet in the neighborhood. So what do you do? Because you want to draw attention to your fucking film. You want to draw attention. There ain't no way you're not going to tell me that on these sets that you have security, that you don't have security looking at everybody saying, nope, put that shit the fuck away.
Phone down. Exactly.
Put that phone down. Put this down. Put that down. If you can't keep track of a staff and you don't, if you're hiring people, that's your own damn fault.
Fire that whole security.
That is your own damn fault for allowing this shit to get out the way it is. Because, bro, the shit that I've seen, in the interest of like not really spoiling it for a lot of people who have seen it, haven't seen it, whatever. But there's a lot of shit that's been fucking spoiled. On top of that, they are stacking this fucking film with so many cameos, bro.
Yeah.
I am not. Look. It can damn well be a dope film, and I'm not saying it won't. But you ain't gotta force that shit down my throat that it's gonna be a fucking successful film. Just let me be surprised, because right now I ain't surprised, Vinny. Not, brother. I'm not surprised at all. And this is talking to somebody who likes to see trailers, bro.
Surprise.
This is speaking to that. I am not fucking happy with that at all, bro. I don't like when they do that shit. It pisses me the fuck off when they do that, bro. What's your thoughts on it, bro?
My thoughts were, I don't even actively pursue. You know me. I dodge trailers like Neo, and yet I know more about this movie than I know about the movies I've already seen this year, and it ain't even out yet. I want to know why you feel like. I want to know why you feel like you got a Peter Parker Spider-Man set up cameras around your fucking set and act like it was a paparazzi. You know damn well those are closed sets. You setting up cameras like, oh, look, how did it get out? It leaks. What can we do? Well, a closed set. What's that? We in Vancouver in the middle of the woods with fucking moose and deer and shit, and somehow every single cameo. And by the way, it's more mutants in this bitch than X-Men 97 coming out on cartoon. Why is my grandmother in this and she ain't even anymore? Everybody's in this motherfucker.
Yeah, bro.
Everybody. Yo, I mean, I guess because they figured they couldn't put 7 million Ryan Reynolds ad libs in there, you had to put in 7 million characters in there. It's more motherfuckers in here than Superman Legacy. It's a lot. Damn.
Yeah.
I want to know when does this movie come out? Because I'm tired of hearing about it, yo.
It comes out. It's supposed to be, I think, July of this year to 2024, bro.
Oh, bet. Okay.
Yeah, it's the only film of 2024. It's the only Marvel film. And I think it's in June or July. One of them. I'm not really sure. But it's the only film. But with everything that we've gotten so far, it's like, yo, Ryan, come on, family. I know you knew.
We don't need
because now
everything.
What he's purposely doing is having different people show up dressed as different characters and saying it's a spoil. He's doing like it's elite.
Batman,
bro. He had Batman. He had the Predator, bro. He had the Turtles. He had Mary Poppins in it, bro. He had Harry Potter. He had people showing up. Bro, he had so many What was the one the other day? He had it was funny as hell. He had fucking Mickey Mouse. He had Mickey Mouse show up to the fucking set, bro. He had so many people showing up to the set, bro. It was fucking funny that they hired these people to come dressed up to say that they were leaks, bro. This shit was fucking
talking, dude. He's hilarious, dude.
Bro, he is hilarious. Yeah, July 26, 2024. 100% Vinny. Just as long as we get Vinny as Xavier, that yeah, you already know that.
If I ain't in this, I'm gonna be the only one to wait.
Bro, like
I don't. I mean, come on, man. It's like I get it. They want to try to like, get buzz going, especially during the strike where you couldn't talk about it. You want to like leak shit so that way you keep, name ringing in people's ears and shit like that. Man. I get it, but yo, man, like I've missed the days where like, we didn't know every single detail. It's bad enough that trailers are 8 minutes long, showing you the whole damn beginning, middle, and even the last fucking explosion. And half the trailers these days, they show you everything. They feel like you ain't, to me, my leaks, like
right. Bruh, and it was so crazy. What last week? I think I hit both you guys like, dog. We got
I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of. I want to see a movie again without knowing everything that's gonna happen. It's like y'all just show too much. Man. It's bad enough that the trailers so much shit. Now you gotta leak all the shit that's on. And you know what's funny? They blaming it on that they shoot outside.
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run. It has. It has, bro. It's become the Cannonball Run of fucking films, bro.
Tom DeLuise. Oh my god.
You're gonna have Professor X skipping over the lake with his chair, just zipping across the lake and shit. Yo, it's just too much. It's just too much. I'm not trying to.
Bruh, the thing is, there is no explanation as to the approach and what they're doing. Again, look. You can definitely you've done it before, but and here's the thing is that we know that he's synonymous for doing this, bro, like because he did the same thing when he leaked in the very beginning, bro, when they showed us the BTS reel of not the BTS reel, when he actually showed us a mock-up of what he wanted Daredevil to do, Deadpool to do. Remember when we first got the first film? When he first got the film and it leaked on YouTube. You know what I mean? That wasn't no leak. You did that shit purposely. So how do I believe you, man? I don't believe you.
That's literally what he's known for. I mean,
he did the same thing for all three movies now.
Yeah. It's it is what it is. It's just annoying as shit because it's like I mean, I've always felt like the Deadpool movies are like,
can't help it, bro.
It's just like it just makes fun of comic books in general, man. So it's just like,
but it's crazy.
My bad. Yo, Vinny, you could definitely do that shit, dog, with the beard. We need that, bro.
Bro, that's comedy. That is comical.
We need that.
Yeah, I mean viral
danger
marketing.
Danger room.
Yeah, that's the real room, the danger room.
The danger room.
Anyway, man, like listen. Here's to a good film. I hope they give us a good film, man. But I
think it's gonna be good though.
It's gonna be dope as fuck. And the only thing, look, Professor V. It's gonna be a dope ass film, bro. I know it's definitely gonna be, and I want to give him shout out for that because I know it's gonna be phenomenal. It's just that you don't have to always tell us shit. You know what I mean? You don't have to show us shit. You know what I mean? The shit that I saw last week pissed me off because I was like, come on, man. That would have been something I wanted to see in film, and you not show me that shit.
That stuff we saw last week, I'd have been shocked.
Yeah, bro.
No, when that picture dropped, I was emailing and texting y'all. So
I was pissed.
I
was so pissed.
It's not just one thing. It's again and again and again. It's like, chill.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
bro. Man.
It is what it is, man. I don't care.
Surprise.
No surprise.
Exactly.
Anybody out there, make sure you stay offline. If you don't want to be spoiled about the bullshit that's dropping, stay offline. Don't even research the film. Just keep it to yourself because just it is what it is. Anyway, Thank you guys, everybody out there, for being us an incredible show. We'll save the Blades video game till next week in the interest of time.
Yeah, nah.
We'll do that next week. But anyway, Jedi Pimp, what you got going on, man? Besides smacking the shit out of people.
Oh no, man. I'm redoing the man cave a little bit, moving stuff around. I got some more IKEA shelving coming in. It should be here Friday. And that's it, man. I'm living in retirement. My retirement space. I'm loving it.
Shout out to Vinny X and his school for gifted trailer time.
It's a prestigious environment.
Yo! Somebody please. Somebody out there, please. Screen this, like, yo, cut this. Give me a shit. Yo, this shit.
Bane got you, dog.
Yo, hold on. It don't work unless you put this shit up. I gotta put this shit up. It ain't gonna work unless you put this shit up, bro. Like, you have to.
Next time you feel like showing us a trailer, don't.
Dude.
Yo, that shit is comedy, bro. That shit is fucking comedy. But Bane, that was funny, bro. That shit right there.
Pinstripe, dog. Pinstripe suit.
Hell yeah.
With the tie.
Hell yeah. Vinny, what you got going on, man?
Besides training people how to avoid trailers and leaks,
Yeah.
which is a full-time job in this day and age. Working on some new art projects. I can't wait to get back in the lab, and I got a bunch of stuff on the docket to to get on paper and canvas for sure. And just looking forward to Christmas season, Christmas movies, all that good stuff. So in the holiday spirit and all that good stuff. So that's about it. Looking forward to talking more comic book talk with friends next Monday, and we got I guess What If this month, and we got Aquaman 2 this month. So looking forward to that, and we got Rebel Moon coming, so I'm looking forward to that too. That's supposed to drop a day early. I heard, on the 21st, so I'll be checking that out.
What, Rebel Moon?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It looks, so far, it looks good, and I'm just mad that she's not getting more bro. I want her. She needs to be. She was my pick for, like, one of my picks for Bastille Shan, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
She's basically one of my picks because she's a phenomenal physical actress, bro. She's
That's the
definitely
lead actress, right? The lead.
Yeah, she's dope.
Yeah.
She's dope.
I can
She's
see her
definitely
as
dope.
Bastille, bro. She would kill it as Bastille.
She would kill it as Bastille, bro.
Now,
She would definitely kill it.
Keanu Reeves is Revan, or was that just a rumor?
I don't know. That's just, well, I don't know. It's a rumor until we see it. I keep myself away from that. But anyway, everybody out there, thank you so much. It's been a hell of a show. Everybody who's been in attendance, we love you guys, man. As always, thank you for being here. Tune in next week. We'll be back with more info, talk about more films, more comic books, more artists, tackle all the things that you want to talk about, man. Thank you for being here. As always, opinions are welcome as long as you are respectful. Definitely. Thank you for being here, man. Let's go. We are out. Peace.